the name of that journalist and send him a
thank you note.
Thank you note. Thank you for nothing. Yes.
Okay, this is two-way mirror.
Yes, working with the great...
It looks like Arthur Miller.
It is the great Arthur Miller.
Yeah. So what impact did Peter Brook have on you?
Oh, my goodness. Well, probably the work that I did with him, which was only over a year's, probably reverberating in me, you know, in my professional life throughout.
Okay,
yes.
Because what?
Because I think that he was the person who truly understood. You know, he is a great genius, and truly understood that every actor is an absolute individual, you know, and you cannot form yourself. And actors are always looking at other actors saying, oh, why can't I do that? Oh, they're so brilliant. Why can't I be like that? Why can't I be like her? And actually, all you really have is yourself. And it's finding the truth of yourself that you have to sort of present on the stage or in the film.
How do you do that? Find the truth of yourself?
You don't find it by looking. That's a terribly Zen sort of answer.
Exactly.
You don't find it by looking. And, of course, it's...
That's
you know, why
point.
actors are so confused, because they're having to look at themselves and try and find themselves all the time in order to reproduce, even though you're obviously often playing a character far beyond yourself. But every character you play always carries some of yourself within it. And the only way you can really perform any character really well is by giving it of yourself, of your own emotional, you know, story, your own psychology.
But essentially you're saying you can't go in search of it, you just have to wait for it to come.
In a way, and then that's a kind of stupid, dumb answer, because you go, what the hell does that mean?
All right. So, and then along comes in 2006, as we go down memory lane.
Yes.
Prime Suspect. No,
yes.
It ended in 2006.
Earlier. Ended in
2006. It came along and
started in 1980 something or other.
Did you know what this could be for you when it...
No, you never do, Charlie. It's always these things come kind of, you know, sideways. They hit you always from the side.
And who was the brilliant person that decided this was perfect for you?
I think probably Sally Head, who was the head of drama at Granada at the time. And maybe Linda, who wrote it. Yeah. I don't know. You never know. These things, you know, come upon you mysteriously.
But when you settled in the first year, did you say, man, this feels good, this is comfortable for me, I like the way this...
Well, it was a great role. Any great role, you know, you feel like that. And it was a, you know, the first episode was wonderfully written by Linda, and she created a great, great character. And and then as we went on with it, I mean, it was a wonderful way to sort of hopefully reflect the world around you. You know, that was how I saw it.
It was about a culture,
mostly.
too.
About a culture, absolutely, and a history now, because, you know, it went through it over, I don't know, 15 years or something, was it? It was a long time.
Yeah, but we got to know you and your flaws and your strengths and, you know, your sense of authenticity, all that stuff.
Yeah.
Didn't we?
Yes, I hope so.
Were you sad to see it leave? Yeah.
No, I mean...
Oh, because you were a big Hollywood movie star by then.
No, not at all, no.
Oh, I'm an Oscar winner. I do not have time for Prime Suspect anymore in my life.
Charlie, no, it ended long before I won an Oscar.
I know that.
So I know.
An Oscar?
An Oscar.
You won an Oscar?
I won an Oscar. I was writing a little piece about that, actually.
Oh, you were?
Yes.
What were you saying?
I was just describing the whole process, the whole evening, you know, in a very short little piece.
You were perfect in it. I mean, you know, your perfect little answering speech was great.
No, yes, that was. I thought about that. I had to think about it, because you couldn't, you know, it was too delicate with all of the responsibility of the Queen and Britain and people's, you know, anything about the royal family in England, as you probably know, Britain, you know, people are sort of, you know, just waiting for you to make a slip. So I had to be careful.
Well, not just careful, but I mean, people had a feeling.
And funny, I hope.
Yeah, funny, and they just thought you got her, and B, what I think surprised some people is you liked her. You grew to understand her and admire
her. Well,
her.
I don't know about understand, you know.
I would think understand more than like,
so
but you're saying like more than understand?
But certainly like, and maybe love.
Maybe loved her.
Yes,
because...
maybe loved her. I think a combination of complicated things, partly because she was so very much of my parents' generation, although younger, But, you know, she came out of the pre-war and then the war generation of Britain, and those were the years that formed her character and her personality and that incredible sense of discipline
and
responsibility and of a kind of sacrifice, and adhering to it through thick and thin and absolutely never wavering. You know, never wavering. And really extraordinary. And as I studied her, and the penny dropped more and more about who this person was that I'd kind of taken for granted, like sort of Big Ben, you know, pass it a million times
right.
in my life, never really pay attention. When I had to actually pay attention, the enormity and the impressiveness of what she'd done and achieved sort of, you know, came upon me.
No, I know you don't like these kind of questions, but I'm obsessed with them. Was there a...
That's honest. I'm dying to know what it is now.
Well, was there... How did you get inside it? What was the hook? What was the way that you sort of said, aha?
There was a little tiny bit of film that I watched just over and over again. It was only about 12 seconds of film. And
12 seconds?
Yes, and it was her getting out of a car when she was about 12 or 13. And at that point, she didn't know that she was going to be Queen, you know, because remember, she wasn't brought up from the moment she was born. It was something that slowly dawned upon her, first obviously with the abdication of her uncle, and then with the fact that her parents didn't have any more children, which they could have done. So she didn't know that she was going to be Queen. She's getting out of one of those enormous black cars, you know, and she's about 12 or 13, and she's obviously been told, you get out and you put your hand out and you are polite to the man who will greet you. This little, beautiful, beautiful little girl, and this big man in a suit, and he's putting her, and she just does it so correctly, with such kind of gravity and grace, and, you know, she's doing exactly what she was told to do, but she's doing it with such, as I say, gravity and grace, and what's the word? Not honour. I can't think of the right word.
Dignity.
Dignity. Thank you. Thank you, Charlie. Dignity, exactly the word I'm looking for. As a 12-year-old, 13-year-old, and it makes me cry every time I look at it. It's so beautiful. Wow. And she was also she was a laughing little girl. You see, you know, early film of her skipping along, laughing, this beautiful smile that she had. I sound so sycophantic, and I don't mean to, but she did. And looking after her sister, making sure that her sister doesn't mess up, you know, even as a young girl. All
right, let's look at some of these photographs here. This is you and your husband.
Yes. Yes,
now,
exactly.
Are you in a new movie that he's directing?
We just finished it. We wrapped literally the day before yesterday. No, it's called Love Ranch. I play the madam of a brothel in Nevada in the 70s.
All right, look at this. But, this is just great. There you go.
Yes, Prime Suspect.
Prime Suspect
absolutely.
Pictures. All
yes.
right. There he is, Clive.
That's Gosford Park.
Yeah, with Clive Owen. Yeah.
Yes.
And this is...
You don't have any pictures there of my Russian... the beautiful pictures here.
Oh, show it to us then.
I'll show you. I love... These pictures just appeared miraculously out of Russia just before I had the book done.
Well, maybe I do, but no. Here, is this it?
Yes.
There
yes,
you go.
and this one, which I love, of
we'll show that one
my
in a moment.
grandparents' wedding.
These photographs were found in Moscow in 2007.
Yes.
Astounded to see pictures of my grandparents' wedding.
Yes.
That would be here.
That's it, yes.
All right, and then
exactly.
this
is their wedding. The actual wedding of them coming out of the church in Russia. I mean, I love that picture.
And how did you find these in 2007?
Thank God for journalists. A very good research journalist in Moscow sort of had heard about my Russian ancestry and just started doing research. And it transpired that a relative, not a blood relative, but a relative by marriage, was a historian and had kept, I had all the letters from Russia to my grandfather, but this historian had kept all the letters from my grandfather to Russia.
In the frame,
yes,
the memoir of Dame Helen.
It's
you like
to be
this
dipped
Dame
into.
thing?
Not much, no. I don't much. I don't. I always forget about it, and people remind, you know, like you remind me.
Well, see, I don't ever know what to say because some people, you know, it's like sir.
Yes, some people.
They don't want you to forget.
No, right.
You know, and other people are uncomfortable. They don't want you to say
I'm
it.
the uncomfortable person, a little bit. I am. I don't see myself like that at all.
I adore you.
Do you, Charlie?
Oh, I do. There is time.
Even after
Taylor
4 decades.
Taylor would give me another black eye. One's enough.
Yes.
Much success, my dear.
Thank you. Thank you very
Pleasure
much,
to see
Charlie.
you.
Lovely that you had me on. Thank you.
Helen Mirren, thank you for joining us. See you next time.